Moi everyone and welcome to Finnish Plate. Salmon is a staple in Finnish cooking and we love to have it in all different ways. In soups, in baked dishes. Here I have a salmon on a fennel bed with some sour cream on top and served with some small potatoes and of course some rye bread. This is going to be a very tasty, very hearty, a Finnish lunch classic. So join me and I'll show you how to make this Finnish salmon. So this is a fennel. It kind of looks like, a little bit like it has stalks like celery does. It has these little leaves kind of like dill does, but it does not taste like either one. Sometimes in the stores it can be labeled as sweet anise. It has a very mild anise kind of a flavor to it. And it's really nice, especially when you bake it, especially combined with salmon. So first I'm going to remove the sticker. And also it has this like woody kind of a stem on it. So we're going to get rid of that. And also I'm going to get rid of the leaves. You could use these as garnish too, of course. So I'm just going to cut it in half so I can get rid of that stem. There we go. So this is what it looks like inside. It has a really nice aroma. But it can be a little bit on the tough side. So that's why it requires either that you cook it or also that you just slice it super thin. There we go. So now I got rid of this woody kind of a stem. And now I'm just gonna slice my pieces very thin. A mandolin would work well here too. Can try to go as thin as possible. And I'm gonna spread these on my baking pan over here. So I still have maybe about a quarter of a fennel left. I could use that in salad, for example, or in another dish. Now I'll just salt these. And I'll add some pepper. And now that the fennel is done, I'm going to prep my salmon. I have here pretty much just a fillet that has a little bit of these bits and pieces. So I'm going to trim this just a little bit to kind of make it even kind of a fillet. So this way it'll cook a little bit more evenly. Because if I put it on as is, first of all, it's not going to fit in here whole. But second, if I just leave it as it is, these small pieces, they will cook a lot quicker than this big loin piece. So that's why I kind of want to trim it a little. So here's the loin, which I'm going to just place on top of my fennel over here. Perfect. And then I have these bits and pieces that I can use for something else. Like I can just freeze them, use them in salmon soup, for example. Or just like salmon casserole, for example. So I'll do that. So let's put these in a plastic bag and these go in the freezer. Now let's make a dressing for the salmon. I have here just some sour cream. I'm going to take a good cup of sour cream. Maybe even more, maybe like 2 cups. I'll just use the whole container, since otherwise it's just gonna end up going bad. And in here, I'm gonna squeeze maybe about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. So the mustard is also going to help the sour cream from curdling, so it's not just for flavor, although that is the main component, that is the main reason why it's there. We'll add some pepper, plenty of black pepper, and now I'll squeeze in half a lemon. My lemon was pretty large. Because we did not salt the salmon, so it can be relatively salty. Let's taste it. It's pretty nice, but I think what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of honey to it just to give it a little sweetness. Plus, I think I still need to add a little bit more salt. There we go. We added maybe about a half a tablespoon of honey. We'll add a little bit more salt. And let's add some pepper too. Okay. I actually added the salt over here on the fillet instead of adding it here. And now we'll slather this on our salmon fillet. Be very liberal with it. I'm just going to add a few capers too on the top, if I can get them spread a little bit more evenly. There we go, much better. And this is going to go in the oven. I have it set to 350 Fahrenheit, about 175 Celsius. It's going to be in the oven for about 20-30 minutes. Let's serve ourselves some. First of all, let's add a couple of these fingerling potatoes. There we go. And now we'll get a slice of the salmon. And of course, we're going to serve this with some rye bread, freshly baked if possible. So let's go ahead and taste our salmon. Take a piece from here. The sour cream topping adds a surprising amount of savoriness in the dish. It's probably also because of the mustard and all that, but it is a really nice addition to the salmon, which is a little bit mild flavored, of course. The fennel almost adds a crunch, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, for sure. Besides the flavor, a subtle anise flavor, it adds some crunch to the mixture too, which is super nice. And then let's try the potatoes. And of course the small potatoes, boiled small potatoes, always a favorite. Together with some rye bread. This is a dish you could easily find in a lunch restaurant, cafeteria or something like that, any day of the week. So try it yourself, let me know how you like it, and I'll see you next time on Finish Your Plate.